Star Wars fans, the legendary actor Samuel L. Jackson is now hinting at a possible return of the iconic character Mace Windu to Star Wars. This is insane, so let's get right into all of it right now. What's up guys, Mike, a guy who loves Star Wars here. So how could this even be possible? Could Mace Windu have survived the fall out the window in Revenge of the Sith when his arm got chopped off and Palpatine yeeted him out the window? Spoiler alert, the movie came out 17 years ago, people. Get over it. So could he have survived that fall? Now that is something that a lot of characters in Star Wars have survived. Darth Maul literally survived it, chopped in half. We know that Palpatine survived it because somehow Palpatine returned in The Rise of Skywalker. So could Mace have survived that fall? First of all, was he alive when he fell? Everybody knows the breakdown, or if you don't know, then here's your first look at it. When he goes out the window, as soon as he goes flying, you hear him go, ugh, so that's the indication that he's still alive when he starts to fall. When he goes flying out the window, he's still alive. He goes, ugh, and he's still alive. But does he survive the fall? His arm's chopped off. He just got electrocuted pretty badly. Could he have survived that fall? So if you are asking Samuel L. Jackson if he survived that fall, who played Mace Windu in the prequel trilogy, I think he would say yes. He wants to come back bad. He loved Star Wars. He loved playing the role of Mace Windu. He wants to see that character return with one arm and be all badass the same way he was in the prequel trilogy. What I think Sam Jackson isn't thinking of is where could he have been this whole time? If we are going to bring back Mace Windu, he most likely will have to die before the original trilogy, because why wouldn't he interfere? He was very anti-Anakin Skywalker, as a lot of fans can notice throughout the prequel trilogy. He didn't want him to be a master on the council. He was very hesitant about Anakin's training at all, but he let it actually happen, and he would probably be really upset about it when he was right and Anakin turned to the dark side and Palpatine took over the entire galaxy, and he would want to fight with the rebels in 4, 5, and 6, the original trilogy. So where was he? If they were, in fact, to bring back Sam Jackson to the role of Mace Windu, they would have to answer a lot of questions for Star Wars fans, unless he dies off before A New Hope. There is this whole 20-year gap between Revenge of the Sith, Episode 3, and A New Hope, Episode 4. And the Obi-Wan Kenobi show is going to fill in some of that. The Andor show is going to fill in some of that. We had Rebels, which filled in some of that. And we had Rogue One in the Solo movie, which filled in some of that too. But again, still no Mace Windu. So where would Mace Windu be at this time? He would definitely be in hiding. He has one arm chopped off. He's probably very injured from being electrocuted. He probably doesn't even look the same because he was electrocuted pretty badly, and we saw what happened to Palpatine when he was electrocuted pretty badly. So where could he have gone? A lot of fans love the theory that he saved Grogu from the Jedi Temple. Now let's talk about this. He got electrocuted pretty badly, his arm got chopped off, and he got chucked out of a very high building on Coruscant. Even if he did land on a passing speeder that was pretty close, he still took a hard fall with his arm chopped off and being electrocuted very muchly. So even if he did survive that, you're telling me that he's going to crawl all the way to the Jedi Temple with one arm chopped off in agonizing pain just to save Grogu? Even if he knew that Grogu even existed, which he probably did because he was very high up in the Jedi Council, he definitely knew that Grogu did exist and was at the Jedi Temple, but I do not think he saved him at all. You're telling me that he fell out that window, and he went and saved Grogu. You're telling me that that actually happened. You're telling me one arm chopped off Windu went and saved Grogu. You're telling me that Windu went and saved Grogu at the Jedi Temple with one arm chopped off after being electrocuted for like 20 solid seconds and being tossed out a window. But let's say, on the crazy off chance that that actually happened, he goes and saves Grogu from the Jedi Temple. Where did they go? They must have went off to some crazy outer rim, maybe even to the unknown regions of the galaxy, just to go and hide for the rest of time. And somehow Grogu gets away from him and ends up where he is in the beginning of Season 1, held by some Trandoshians, and IG-11 and Mando have to come save him. It doesn't make any sense. Mace Windu definitely did not save Grogu from the Jedi Temple. It doesn't explain really much of anything. It wouldn't affect the story at all. It wouldn't help whatever. It wouldn't explain how Mace was not around during the original trilogy. Even if he went into hiding, he would want to come help. He was a member of the Jedi Council. He literally chopped off Jango Fett's head. He wanted to fight. He would go fight the Emperor and Anakin, and he'd find Obi-Wan, and he'd find Yoda, and these people would know that he's alive so that they could gang up together and defeat the Empire. Mace Windu definitely didn't survive through the original trilogy, and if he did, there is a lot of explaining to do from Disney Star Wars, because that just makes no sense. But I still think that they could bring back Mace Windu. They would just have to kill him off before A New Hope. Now we have to ask ourselves as Star Wars fans, is this even worth it? Is bringing back Mace Windu in a crazy way even worth just a few more years of Mace Windu? You're going to bring him back? I mean, Mace Windu. Sorry, Windu. What? Window. I mean, you're going to bring him back after all that crazy torture. His arm gets chopped off and he flies out a window. You're going to bring him back and then just kill him off in a few more years? I just don't see them wanting to do that. It's very crazy. They would never do that. That's like them bringing back Boba Fett and killing him off by the end of his show. That's like if Boba Fett died before the end of the book of Boba Fett. They brought him back, told how he survived the Sarlacc pit and gained all this power, and then just dies. That would literally be like Mace Windu coming back and dying before A New Hope. It's just not worth it. There's no story there. There's no reason for him to come back. He hasn't been in Rebels. He hasn't been in Rogue One. He hasn't been mentioned in Solo, Rogue One, Rebels, the Obi-Wan show, and none of it. He hasn't been in any of it. So bringing back Mace Windu would make no sense. Obviously, fans and even actors themselves want Mace Windu to come back. Even Tamara Morrison, who plays Boba Fett in the Book of Boba Fett and in The Mandalorian, and plays Jango Fett in Attack of the Clones, has said that he wants, in Boba Fett Season 2, if there even is going to be one, him to have a bounty out on Mace Windu's head, and Mace Windu coming for Boba Fett. He wants that to happen. But us as Star Wars fans, we have to think logically. There's no way that Mace Windu could have survived that fall, and even if he did, there's no way he could have survived long enough to be in A New Hope, because he wasn't in the original trilogy, and he didn't fight against the Empire, and that is not the way that Mace Windu's character would have developed at all. He would have fought to the death to defeat the Empire. And not only does Tamara Morrison want Mace Windu back, but Mace Windu himself, of course, wants him back. Samuel L. Jackson has been begging for years, literally years and years, to come back as Mace Windu. He doesn't think that that character is dead. He says people survived that fall many, many times, and we know that they have. Darth Maul, one of them being cut in half, survived that fall. But he survived that through the will of the dark side. Through the will of the dark side of the Force. So if in fact Mace Windu did survive that fall, it would have to be through the dark side of the Force. And we know he did have that purple lightsaber, which meant that he was more with the dark side of the Force. Not obviously a dark side user, but if he tapped into that dark side of the Force and became a Sith Lord and Obi-Wan had to go kill him or something like that, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to that if he turned into a dark side user. And that's why he didn't show up in A New Hope. But it would be very, very, very different for that character. Mace Windu turning into a bad guy just to survive a fall, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. Tell me in the comments below if you see any of this happening, if you see Mace Windu coming back at all, and tell me how. How could he have survived the fall? How could he have rescued Grogu from the temple? How could he even be in the original trilogy without being in the original trilogy? Tell me how all that could possibly happen in the comments below. Smash like if you like this video, hit subscribe and hit that bell so you get notified every time I post a video, and my pretty face will show up in your recommended feed. The Obi-Wan show, a couple months away. We're getting closer and closer every single day, but will we see Mace Windu? I mean Windu. In the show. I can't see it happening. But may the Force be with you. Always.